Hey everyone, it's Brett from Hope to Prosper. Coming to you today from just above the pier in San Clemente, and I'm going on a simple walk. And just thought I'd take you along with me and talk about today's subject, which is why quit corporate life. All right, hope you enjoy it. So, why did I quit corporate life? What turned me from an enthusiastic, dedicated employee, someone who lived for the mission, into someone who never wants to step foot in another tilt up again? The short answer is that I closed down 2 companies. And they weren't just any companies. They were companies I was really enthusiastic about and dedicated, and I spent basically the last 15 years of my career working for these 2 companies, and now they're gone. They're gone like poof in the wind. The name remains and some of the employees from the first company, but the other company closed down, liquidated, empty shell, somebody else is in the building. Even the name has been kind of bought up and is gone. So the first of the 2 companies, I worked there for 13 years, and my coworkers were like family to me. It was just an amazing company, great part of my life, and great product, helped others, and so there were some really good things about it. And the way it ended was kind of neat. After 11 years, we sold for $500 million. I got stock options, bonuses, a big severance package. So it wasn't necessarily bad, but it took a toll on me. And I didn't realize until later how big the toll was. To be honest, I didn't realize until I did it the second time how big the toll was. So all the work I put into those companies, it's gone. And all that time from my life, all the sacrifice from my family is gone. So that is why, the short answer of why I quit corporate life. It just was disheartening to me, and I didn't want to do it anymore. I have some pictures here of me walking through the empty warehouse of my second company, and the one we just closed down last year, and that whole warehouse was humming. There was assembly lines and clean rooms and people, and you see this picture, there's just a dumpster left and everything else is gone. And so that's kind of that's kind of a picture of what it's like to close down a company like that. So that's the first thing, was closing the 2 companies. And let's face it, these were 2 medical device startups. And, the startups are a risky game. You know the game going in. I mean, we won on one of the startups. The other one just ran out of funding and failed. And so really I was, 50-50 on these. I should be happy about it, but I don't know. I guess I take these things too personally, way too personally. And that's what a dedicated employee does. You kind of live for the mission. I have my own department. I took it seriously. I was on call 7/24, and I put a lot of energy into it. And that's what makes it disheartening for me to watch these things close down, whereas other people might just say, oh yeah, it's a job, and move on. I don't work like that. And so that is why I had to walk away from corporate life and quit, because I think I just gave too much of myself, and I decided that's a bad idea. So if I could just pick one single moment that defined this whole process of closing down a company, it would be the laptop moment. So here's a stack of over 100 laptops. These are Dell laptops from the company Vertiflex that I worked at for 13 years. And to me, each one of these laptops represents an employee. It's not just a piece of hardware. When I got those, I had to reformat all those laptops right there. And every one of them has a person's name on it, has their files. Sometimes I would look on the desktop and there would be their resume. They're trying to find another job. And so it's not just a computer to me, not just a laptop. It's a person. And so I had to format those 100 laptops. I gave a couple away to employees. Management begrudgingly let me give some of those in, and I gave them to the employees that had been there over 10 years. They deserved one. And then I put 93 of those on the loading dock for a liquidator, and I just watched them all go poof, there they gone. And I started thinking about how many hours of my life, how many years I had in those laptops. You know, not only those laptops but their predecessors, but it was just it was disheartening watching those laptops just leave, and thinking about how much time and effort and energy, how many times I came home late instead of eating with my family so that somebody would have a new laptop when they started on a Monday morning. So that is the laptop moment to me, and it should have been an epiphany. But the sad thing is, I didn't learn from this laptop moment, especially not the first time. It hurt me, but I let it go. And then I went out and I got another job, and I was so excited about the other job that I did the same thing, this exact same thing all over again, another 150 laptops. But the second time, it was different. And the second time I did the laptop moment, I knew I was never going to do it again. And that's when I just decided, okay, I'm done with corporate life. I looked around, I looked at my desk, I looked at all the laptops, I looked at the empty warehouse, and I just decided, okay, I'm done with this. And I stopped really looking for another job. And I'm glad I did. I think that's a good decision for me, and it's something that has made my life so much better, not to be so dedicated to somebody else's mission that I neglect my own time and my own life and my own family. Another really, really disheartening part of this whole process, like I said, to some people, it's just a job, you get a new one. But one of the problems with being an IT manager is that I had to process out all my friends. You know, and some of my friends, some of my coworkers were like family to me, especially at Vertiflex, where we worked together for 13 years on that mission. And, you know, I can still see pictures of their kids on their desk, and those kids are probably married now or going to college or something. And we just spent so much time together. They were like family to me, not just coworkers. So when somebody gets laid off, it's more personal for me, the IT manager, and the HR manager, I assume as well, than it is for other coworkers. You know, I have to watch them get laid off. I have to cut off their email and network access. I have to format their computers, forward their phones and email, clean out their desks, especially when you close a facility, you're throwing out people's belongings that they left behind because they got laid off. So, anyways, not to bum anybody out, but that is why I left corporate life. And it left a scar on me, I'm not going to lie. And it's something that it changed the course of my life. The good news is I learned some lessons from this, right? I'm not going to do this again. I decided to do something else instead, and I'm really happy I did. So I semi-retired, and when I say semi, I might start a little hobby business or an online business or do something else to keep me engaged, but I'm not going back to the corporate shuffle ever again. And so I'm thankful for that. These lessons burned into me have changed my whole life. And so I'm not going to sacrifice my life and my time with my family for, just to support other people's dreams and do what other people need me to do for them. I'm going to put my family first and my life first. I'm going to put my own dreams first. And I'm going to go on adventures when I want, not when my company will allow. And so that's another reason I quit corporate life. I really wanted to go on an adventure, and I wanted to travel, and I wanted to do things with my family. And I didn't want somebody to tell me, no, we have to do this for the company, or you have to do that for the company. So those are my big lessons learned, is that I'm going to invest my time and my energy into something I control, into something I run, or I have, or I own, my company, or my projects, because then somebody can't just take them out from under me and close them out. and leave that scar that says, thank you for your time, but this is over. So that's the lessons I've learned, is to control my income, control my life, control my time. Those are the biggest lessons, the biggest takeaways from leaving corporate life. And that's why I'll never go back. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this subject. I don't know what you guys are going through in your careers. I know a lot of people are getting laid off, especially tech workers. And it's really disheartening for me to see there's a count. They're up to 120, 200,000 people, tech workers have been laid off this year. And those are people with families and children. And I take that stuff way too personally. So, all right. Well, listen, thanks for coming along. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And please leave any comments or questions you have. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and for following my channel. I want to wish you all health, happiness, and prosperity in your lives. And I will see you next week. I got a big adventure. I'm going on the Great Plains tour with a buddy of mine actually tomorrow. And we're going to go through 5 new states for me. We're going to go through the Dakotas, Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska. We're also going through Kansas. We're going through Missouri. We're going to hit 2 state parks. It's going to be a great adventure. So I hope you'll enjoy that one coming up. But I wanted to let you know my next week's video will be probably a couple days late because I'm on a 9-day trip. All right. God bless, and I will see you next week.